This video is going to show you how to embed invisible tables into a page on one of your websites. Using tables is a useful tool, particularly when you're working with clip art. If you've noticed, when you've inserted clip art into any page in your website, it's a little difficult to manipulate. If you use invisible tables, you'll be able to move pictures and place them where you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on here onto an existing page and click Edit. And you can see on this page I already have some text on here and I already have a clip art picture. You can do this from scratch or you can work on a page that you already have. So you can see with this picture over here I can't really do anything. If I drag it, nothing happens. The only way I can move this picture around is to use these alignment tools. I can bring it to the left, I can bring it to the center. But if I wanted to drag it next to something, it is a little bit more difficult to get it to stay where I want. So this is where invisible tables come in. So let's say, for instance, I want to have this help clip art right next to the text that says extra help schedule. I'm going to use an invisible table so that I can space it out the way I want. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to move everything down so that I have room for my table. And then what I'm going to do is up in the toolbar you're going to see a tool that looks like a little pencil, and when you rest your cursor on it, it says Insert a New Table. I'm going to click on that. Now the new pop-up will ask you how many columns, how many rows do you want for your table. Now in this case I'm going to want 2 columns because I want one column with my text and I want another column to be able to bring my picture into. And I only need 1 row. The alignment refers to, do you want your table in the middle, do you want it to the left, do you want it to the right? I'm going to choose center. And then the border, this is what makes it invisible. With the border at 0, this means that users will not be able to see that there's an actual table there. We're going to work on using visible tables later, in which we'll adjust the border size. And there's nothing else I need to adjust here, so I'm going to click Insert. So you're going to see a very tiny little table over here. Once we add content to the table, it will actually expand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the text that I already have over here and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to put it right into my table. And you can see as I move my cursor, I get a little cursor, blinking cursor right inside the first cell of the table, and I'm going to drop it. Now I still have another part of my table that hasn't been used yet. And you can kind of see right over here my cursor is blinking in the second section of the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my picture up and I'm going to place it right on top. Oops, this is what happens when you miss. And then I'm going to drop it right into the second cell of my table. So remember, I created a table with 1 row, 2 columns. So this is the 1 row and here are my 2 columns. Now I have a little bit more room to manipulate and move my stuff around just by clicking on the space key. If I put my cursor inside the cell, to get your cursor inside, you click a little bit, and then perhaps maybe I want to, within this table, center this or move it over. You can do whatever you want to get it to the where you want. So now if I want to save these changes, I'm going to click Save and click OK. Now you remember we saw a little bit of our table, but it is actually going to be invisible to anyone else who views our site. So now that I've saved it, if I go back over to my extra help page and just click on it so that I can actually see what it looks like on the web, you can see now I have my extra help schedule the way I want it. I was able to put my picture next to the text. The table that I created is not visible to anyone. So this is a great way to manipulate pictures and to put them next to your existing text.